I'm going to give you one thought that's going to blow your mind, and well, it won't really, but then I want to get into, from a patient perspective, how they can invest in themselves for healthcare, and we'll lead that into that. I remember when insurance copay started going up, and like, remember that $5 copay? Then it went to 10, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, $10 copay!" And the highest copay I've seen is 70. And then I thought, hey, well, if you're contracted with the company as an in-network provider, what happens when the patient's copay is higher than the cost of the doctor's service? And correct me if I'm wrong, the doctor should provide the service and then write a check to the insurance company after they're done. Because there's no other way to look at the math logically. It just didn't make sense. So we got totally out of these networks, completely out, with one exception. We care for people who have Medicare, and that's our honor to do so. But when people come in here, when we sit down and we find out what care we can provide, what we do think they truly need, there are no surprises, because we know. And then we're also having people come to us and say, hey, I know what I'm going to invest in my wellness for a year at a time, or whatever period of time over calendar years. They have an option to invest in themselves in a health savings account that has some tax benefits, or a flex spending account. So what I would ask is if you could give clarity on how people can gain tax benefits by taking their own initiative and investing in
Excellent.
healthcare.
It's my favorite topic.
Good.
Can I comment on your copay thing first?
Yes, please.
The way it's supposed to work is that when you go see an in-network provider, you give them the copay at the point of service. If it's a $70 copay and their service is $50, you should only pay $50. That's what the doctor should only charge you. Same thing applies to a copay in a drug plan. So if you have a $50 copay for a tier 2 drug and the drug is only $40, they should only cost you $40, even though technically it could be up to $50. So it's really up to. High deductible health plans, also known as consumer-driven health plans, also known as HSA compatible plans. To call a plan an HSA plan is not really accurate. An HSA is a savings account, health savings account. The plan is the plan. It's got to be a qualified plan for you to be able to put money into an HSA. What makes a high deductible health plan qualified is that there's a few things, but the primary thing is that you have to meet your full deductible. And if you have any dependents, it's the full family deductible before the provisions of the plan kick in, which means you're self-insuring for your full family deductible. One exception is preventive care. Under Obamacare, which is a good thing, preventive care is covered at 100%, as long as it's coded as preventive care. So subject to that one exception, you're self-insuring for any sick thing or injury up to your full family deductible. That would result in the plan being cheaper. So, because you're basically covering claims instead of the insurance company, up to a point. So theoretically, you then take the savings and you put it into a health savings account. The money that goes, and it's in your name. It's just like an IRA. It's just called an HSA. And it's in your name and you own it. And nobody can take it away from you. And the money going in is tax deductible. So if you make $40,000 a year and you put in 3, you're taxed on 37. The best thing about it is that you can pull money out of an HSA income tax free, provided you use that money to reimburse yourself for qualified medical expenses. So if you take the money out of an HSA and buy groceries, you're penalized and you're taxed. If you take the money out to reimburse yourself because you had to use your own money because you had this deductible, that's fine. And it's a beautiful thing. Money going in, tax deductible, money coming out, tax free. It's beautiful. It does create a little complexity of tax time. You need to complete one extra tax form called an 8889 form. It's one page. It's an honor thing. I put money in on a tax qualified basis. I took it out on a tax qualified basis. All is good. You should keep your receipts so that if they ever audit you, you have some backup. The institution where you maintain your HSA will also send you something similar to a 1099 slip that says she put money in, she took money out. And that all matches up with the IRS when you're doing your taxes. But it's a wonderful idea. I am 100% supportive of high deductible health plans paired up with health savings accounts. Because if you don't use the plan, you're accumulating money as opposed to giving it to an insurance company.
So what type of things would people think are, I guess, applicable services versus like, can my gym membership be?
Great question. The best way I can answer it is that anybody watching or you go Google IRC, Internal Revenue Code, 213D, 213D. And that is the list of all the qualified medical reasons that you could pull money out of an HSA. And that might include fitness. It might include weight loss. It might include certain things that people may not realize. It does include dental. It does include glasses. So there are things under 213D list that would typically be excluded from being covered under a health plan that would be eligible to be reimbursed 100% from your own money. You take it out tax-free under 213D. It's a great question.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't include hugs. Hugs are free here. So you get them when you come in for your wellness care. There's just a couple of minutes left. Do you have any questions for Ed? Yes.
So if somebody has an insurance plan that says these are your flat out benefits, this is your deductible, this is what you're covered at, and you're covered for 30 visits. At some point, if the insurance company, if we're billing and the insurance company says you don't get care anymore and they haven't had 30 visits, is there something that that person can do to call their company and be like, why am I paying for a plan where it tells me I get 30 visits, but then you cut me off at 15?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's so sad because we get involved with solving those problems fairly frequently. The 30 visits is a max, and the carriers are going to fall back on, is it medically necessary? Right. So they're going to come back and say, give us some documentation from Dr. Magwood that the continued treatment after the 12 visits that we paid for, and you need another 18, that it's medically necessary, and we could usually get that fixed. That's where a broker plays a role, because most people just aren't equipped to call an insurance company and fight that. Mm-hmm. My team, that's all we do. Yeah. Fighting every day. Yeah. It's a battle. And hopefully it doesn't turn into that, but our clients will call my staff and they're awesome. They call, they fight. We don't bat 1,000, we bat 750, 800. We're Hall of Fame. But you can't win every battle. Yeah. All right, but that is true. It's annoying because clearly you're looking at your benefit summary and it says 30 visits when they may only say 12. But it's really 12 until we reevaluate.
So people that should reach out to you for help or your services, they are businesses, HR departments of businesses. They are also individual families, correct?
Yes, we focus on company-sponsored plans. And that's really our specialty in the health world. However, I am more than willing to talk to anybody individually, and at least if I don't help you get insurance, we'll make it a lot easier for you and guide you. Okay, we'll give you all the tools you need. So we've done all the research, and you just have to, follow steps.
So it's a continuing world of excellence. This is Ed Gaelick. The best way to reach him is his office telephone number. Is that right?
Or email.
Or email. Let's go with that. Ed at PSI-Consultants.com. He's in Hackettstown Road, Glen Rock, New Jersey.
Harristown Road in Glen Rock.
Is that what that says?
It's dark in here.
Got the lights shining and everything. Anything else you'd like to close with?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat.
All right, very good. Thanks, everyone, and good night from Pure Balance Center. I'm Dr. Michael Magwood. See your chiropractor for your wellness.